Hello everyone. So today I am with a very interesting topic. Let me introduce you that topic. Can you believe that what we are seeing in this figure, a sunflower with uniform yellow color pigment uniformly distributed? But what if I say that what we are seeing here in uniform distribution of yellow color is not same when we see through our naked eyes and when we see through UV rays? So here is when we see our sunflower, beautiful sunflower with our naked eyes, and this is the image when we see our sunflower under UV light. Okay, so if you see that, then you will notice that this yellow pigment in the center in under UV light is not the same. It means that UV rays are absorbed around the center of the petals, means in periphery UV rays are reflected back. Okay, and in the center of the petals the UV rays are absorbed. It is basic physics concept that what we see a color of an object, any color of the object, that is reflected from that object. If that particular segment have absorbed a particular light, then that part will be seen black. Okay, so if there is all the UV rays are absorbed here, no UV ray are reflected, it means here will be no color, that is black. Okay, but if the UV ray are reflected back from here and no UV ray are absorbed in this part, then we will see that this part of the peripheral part of the petal will seem as a white, or you can see something or an object, but here you will see black because there is no light or reflected back to our eyes. Okay, now the phenomena here we came to know under UV light. It is a recent research, we can say about 2017 its research paper in which this concept was introduced, that the peripheral this flower have evolved this mechanism for the UV protections and for specifically for the pollination. Okay, so this whole concept evolved around the bullae. Okay, we call this phenomena as UV bullae. Okay, so today we will discuss this, and I am have also an interesting question based on this which was asked in IOQB part 2 in 2021 paper. Okay, we will discuss this question in the later part of the segment. If you have come only to see the solution of that question, you can skip the video to the last. Otherwise, let's start. Okay, so let me take you to the segment of the research paper. Basically, the research was done on the two flower, H fulva and H criteria. Okay, and two insects were chosen. One insect was hawkmoth. Okay, hawkmoth, and other insect was butterfly. Okay, so basically in that research is very long procedure. I will give a small description of that research. Okay, and I will attach the link of that research paper in the description box, so you can, if you are interested, then you can read the whole research paper basically. So basically in this experiment they found that the hawkmoth which has trichomatous means trichomatous vision. It means it has three colors visions. One was UV and blue and green, and butterfly has tetrachomatous. Okay, and finally after many experiments they reached to the conclusion that the plant, this is H fulva, okay, which was earlier found, has evolved himself into H critina, and the only basic difference which led to the evolution is the pollination effect due to the UV light. Okay, In the H fulva, when observed under the UV light, we have this figure, and when observed H cretina observed under the UV light, we have this. Okay, you can see that there is huge bullae in the middle of the H cretina rather than in H fulva. Okay, so why the plant have evolved such mechanism? There are two main reasons. First, protection. What protection means? Let's basically see. Nature has already made the, you can say, of features which will protect the plant or other organism. What will happen in the future? We were not knowing that UV they will penetrate the ozone layer and come to the earth, but nature knows. So what happens? Nature have evolved to protect that from the UV rays. Basically, main part of the plants that is in the sexual reproduction involvement, the flower part which are involved in sexual reproduction, that androecium and gynoecium, are the center of the part. Okay, in the center. To if these petals around the periphery of the androecium and gynoecium absorbed UV ray, okay, then no UV ray will affect the androecium, because all the UV rays around it are absorbed in the peripheral part of the androecium gynoecium in the petal. So it will not affect the upcoming generation of the seed. Okay, so it is a main role of the UV. And secondly, which we came from the research paper which I am giving in description, was nectar guide. Basically, the insects and many arthropods are gifted with UV vision. Okay, then they can see the what we see is in visible region, but the nocturnal, or you can say many arthropods can see in the UV region of the electromagnetic spectrum light. Okay, so what happen when they see in UV ray, they appear seems them this dark point. Okay, and we know that plant have maximum nectar in which area where there is androecium and gynoecium, so that the pollination can take place in that region. Insect will sit, and so that if insect will sit in that region, then there are high chances of that pollination. Okay, so the higher nectar are in the center and in periphery of the androecium and gynoecium, basically. So if plant can see the dark region, if pollinator can see the dark region, they can easily understand here is only nectar. Okay, so it increases a chance of pollination, because the specific pollinator will sit only in that part. Now coming to next point, understand, if there is more large nectar, large UV bullae, and there is small UV bullae. Basically, let's make clear you. This is whole flower. Okay, this is whole flower, and in these two type of flower, first let one and this is second. What happened here is a huge UV bullae, and here is small UV bullae. Okay, so where we see there will be more chance of insect to sit at the androecium and gynoecium. Basically, if there will be a smaller area representing the androecium and gynoecium, there are high chances of pollination, and it means it will act as highly nectar guide. Nectar guide basically means there is highly chance which help the pollinator to get the nectar. Means basically it will indicate at which place there is more nectar, and in nectars are basically around the androecium and gynoecium. So androecium and gynoecium is very in middle center. If there is a small UV bullae, then there are high chances that the following pollinator will sit on the androecium and gynoecium. Okay, now next let me take the questions, and it will clear more doubt. So many flower that appears to uniform in color to the human eyes show dark and light patterns when viewed under ultraviolet light. Usually the dark region are the bullae. I have already told, region in the center of the flower. Moreover, these dark are found to be larger in the flowers which grow in the region closer to equator. Why closer to equator? Because maximum UV rays, as in equator maximum sunlight is fallen. If maximum sunlight is fallen near the equator, then maximum UV rays will also be near the equator. Then plant have evolved this mechanism near the equator mainly. Okay, now from that adaptive value of trait, we have to mark the true and false statement. The first statement is the darker region of the flower absorbs UV radiation and play a protective role. It is true. I have already explained that UV rays are absorbed so that it appear dark ray, because in UV vision I have already explained in initial part that it will absorb, and the what is reflected is be seen to the eyes. Okay, so it will protect our the endosomes and gynosomes and just future generation, and it has just protective role. It is this statement is right. Now second, many insect pollinators have good vision in UV region, right, and thus the dark region helps to attract pollinator by acting as nectar. It is also true. I have already explained. Larger area bull-eyes region of the flower near growing near equator compensate for reduced frequency of pollinating insect near equator. Basically, this statement is wrong. Larger area bull-eyes region of flower growing near equator. Okay, larger will be the bull-eye region. Okay, compensate for the reduced frequency of pollinating. This is till here statement is right. Okay, but see from here, compensate for reduced frequency of pollinating insect near equator. It is saying that pollinating insect near equator are less, so the plant have evolved that mechanism so that the what we are in nature reduced, there is reduced frequency near equator. बेसिकली क्या करना चाह रहा है कि जो अर्थ के इक्वेटर पे ये कह रहा है कि पॉलिनेटर कम है. अगर पॉलिनेटर कम है तो उनको ज़्यादा चांस नहीं मिल पा रहा है कि वो पॉलिनेट कर पाएँ. तो अगर हम वो यूवी मैकेनिज्म इसलिए लाए हैं ताकि वह पॉलिनेट ज़्यादा कर पाएँ प्लांट को, क्योंकि ज़्यादा स्पेसिफिक हो जाएगा. इसलिए क्योंकि वहाँ पे इक्वेटर पे क्या है आपका इंसेक्ट्स का जो डाइवर्सिटी है या आपका पॉपुलेशन कम है. ये बात तो गलत है. हम लोग इकोलॉजी में पढ़ते हैं कि जो इंसेक्ट्स का जो मैक्सिमम डाइवर्सिटी होता है या मैक्सिमम आपका ग्रोथ होता है इंसेक्ट का आर्थ्रोपोडा का, वो इक्वेटर पे ही होता है. मैक्सिमम डाइवर्सिटी भी इक्वेटर पाया जाता है. तो यहाँ से स्टेटमेंट गलत है. रिड्यूस्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ पॉलिनेटिंग इंसेक्ट, रिड्यूस्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं होता, हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी होता है पॉलिनेटिंग इंसेक्ट का नियर इक्वेटर. तो यह स्टेटमेंट इसी की वजह से गलत हो जा रहा है. ठीक, अब डीप आ जाइए. लार्जर एरिया ऑफ डार्क रीजन लेस एक्यूरेट इज द सिग्नल ऑफ एज अ नेक्टर है. ये तो हमें ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन किया. स्टेटमेंट सही है. जितना ज़्यादा एरिया होगा नेक्टर यूवी डार्क रीजन का, दैट इज यूवी एब्जॉर्बेंट का, वहाँ उतना ही लेस एक्यूरेट होगा. जितना ही कम होगा उतना ही ज़्यादा चांस है कि वो क्या होगा नेक्टर के पास ही उतना ही यूवी जितना. जैसे देखिए अगर मैं कहूँ कि आपको इतना दूर में एक मान लीजिए एक गोल्ड का कोई कॉइन खोया हुआ है और एक कहूँ इतना ही दूर में खोया हुआ छोटा एरिया में, तो आपको कौन सा आसान रहेगा? ये आसान रहेगा, जल्दी मिल जाएगा. इसलिए सेम बेस्ट पे ये भी है. तो ये ऑप्शन डी हमारा राइट है. सो होप you have enjoyed the video. Thank you.